there is only one person who pulls the strings.
I agree.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we will be exploring the comic book origins of Victor Von Doom, aka Dr. Doom, arch nemesis of the Fantastic Four, and no, not that kind of doctor.
I've always wanted power. Now I have an unlimited supply.
There are often reimaginings and different versions to a character's past. We have chosen to primarily follow the storyline which unfolded in 2006's Books of Doom, issues number 1 to 6. Depicted as having the biggest ego in the Marvel Universe, even more so than Tony Stark, Doom's goals for world domination and destruction of those that stand in his way often come with a caveat that he may actually end up being the right person to rule the world.
Doom has created an idyllic society.
Idyllic? Maybe. But isn't that the promise of every fascist?
He's certainly one of the smartest and most dangerous villains ever conceived, and does a fairly good job of ruling the fictional country of Latveria.
You are trespassing on Latverian soil.
First appearing in 1962's Fantastic Four number 5, Dr. Doom quickly left his mark on the Marvel Universe. In this seminal issue, all of Dr. Doom's tropes were established. Genius intellect and ingenious devices, time travel, his rivalry with Mr. Fantastic, sorcery, and his indestructible suits of armor are all laid bare. Doom's backstory is illuminated as well, as Mr. Fantastic recounts their school days.
Same old Reed, always stretching, reaching for the stars, with the weight of the world on his back. But dreams don't pay the bills, do they?
Victor Von Doom's disfiguring accident at school would go on to transform the man into the villain we know today, when he later left society to study with monks in seclusion. In 1982's Fantastic Four number 246 and 247, it would also be revealed how important the fictional land of Latveria is to Dr. Doom. His home country, and now its dictator, Dr. Doom would do anything to protect his home. It was perhaps the first time when we truly understood Doom's capability to successfully lead a nation, making his world domination schemes seem somewhat understandable. As its leader, Doom ensured that Latveria was prosperous and that it had no hunger or crime. Now, Dr. Doom was no longer a faceless madman and an evil villain, but a man who believed that he was the only person in the world who could do it good. It wouldn't be until 2006's Books of Doom where we would discover the detailed explanation of the journey that made Dr. Doom into the leader of a country and eventual enemy of the Fantastic Four.
You will all be bound over for trial. The charge is treason against New Latveria, and if found guilty, you will all be destroyed.
Born in Latveria to a gypsy woman, Doom's legacy begins early in the womb. His mother had several consorts with demons, which probably had an early effect on Doom and his abilities. Due to those consorts, however, Doom's mother would end up being killed by their gypsy clan after she began tapping into demonic powers. This event would turn young Victor bitter as he began to be consumed by thoughts of vengeance. Victor left with his father, where they encountered enemies and were forced to hide in the frozen wilderness. His father would later freeze to death while clutching his son to keep him warm. Victor's desire to avenge his parents' deaths turned towards the black arts, like his mother, but lacking success, he would use his higher intellect to see if science could get him what he wanted. At 16, and now the leader of his own gypsy clan, Victor would be forced to kill a man for survival. Coming to terms with this murder, he accepted an invitation to study in America, where he was fated to meet a young Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, who proved to be an annoying, if formidable rival for Victor in their studies.
Now let's be clear about this, shall we? I hate you. All of you.
It was during this time that Victor Von Doom developed what would eventually become known as Doombots, androids who would go on to act as surrogates for the real Dr. Doom. Later, in a desperate bid to save his mother from damnation, he would use magic fused with science to build a machine to cross dimensions, which a demon lord blew up in his face. It was his ultimate failure, and it left him with a scar to constantly remind him of it. Now, believing his face was ruined, he would always keep it hidden. To achieve his goals, Victor would need to hone his science and magical skills, so he traveled to the Himalayas to study a secret sect of monks. But his ego and mental frailty only grew, and to cope with that, he would need to build armor. Using again science and magic, his second skin would finalize his transformation into Dr. Doom. He would use his fortified powers to lead a revolution in Latveria and conquer the land. Then he would face the Demon Lord once again for his mother's soul, and this time, he succeeded. His armor would prove invaluable to this task. It was nearly indestructible and increased his physical strength and abilities, and also came with a jetpack, of course. Doom's scientific background enables him to build a myriad of things, from transportation devices to weapons fortified by magic. His magical abilities are also something to fear. He's able to use electricity to kill, detain someone, or even create a powerful force field. Using magic also extends to his scientific abilities, which he later used to travel through time and to different dimensions. But Doom's greatest strength has always been his intellect and strategy. His Doombots, for instance, can either be used as a deception, confusing enemies into fighting a fake Doom, or for brute strength to greatly expand his deadly force.
Okay, so much for avoiding an international incident.
Truly, his only weakness is his unabashed ego, as he believes nobody can match him. But when you're dealing with someone who can successfully lead a country, effectively use the limits of science and magic, and looks as menacing as he does, perhaps that ego is somewhat justified.
I'm almost impressed. But this... beautiful, isn't it?
Doom has appeared in various forms of media throughout the years, from television series and feature films all the way to video games.
You win! You are beneath me, and it shows.
The only thing left for Dr. Doom, other than the destruction of the Fantastic Four and conquering the world, is your complete and total submission. Long live Dr. Doom.
Victor, please.
Call me Doom.
Are you a fan of the egotistical dictator? For more superior top 10s and comic book origins published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Leave. Now.